All right, welcome back to my channel. It's Cozy Christopher, and today we're going to be talking about my main setup. Today we're going to be talking about my main setup that sits right here behind me that you all usually don't see because this is the angle that I record from using that little, I guess you can see it back there in the corner back there, which is my newer camera mount. What we're pointing at today is the Sonos Arc right there, and so I've used the Sonos Arc for a couple years now as my main speaker setup on my desk, which from a consumption standpoint, which is pure just entertainment, watching TV, videos, listening to music, playing the video game, PlayStation 5, Xbox, whatever I got plugged in at the time, playing there, has been amazing using that because it's Dolby Atmos, right? And whatever Dolby Atmos content that I'm consuming, even when I'm sitting over there in my chair watching TV on this, has been amazing. But it's not the best for editing. The central channel of having the sound bar right in front of you and below you, as opposed to having hi-fi speakers at ear level pointing the sound at you, giving you that clean mix, for lack of better terms, without all the extra long bump and stuff like that that you get with the subwoofer that I have underneath the desk and things like that, doesn't always equate to the best possible mixes that you all are hearing here on YouTube. Now, first and foremost, I want to say that over the last couple years that I've used this Sonos Arc, Sonos Woofer Generation 3 down there, it's been amazing. And so I'm not getting rid of this because of the sound is bad or anything like that. It's just for my needs from a content creation standpoint, it hasn't served the best purpose for that. But I'm gonna be repurposing this because I'm gonna be doing something cool in my bedroom upstairs. I'm gonna be moving that over there with the Samsung, which you can kind of see at this corner right behind me, the Samsung S95B. I'm gonna be setting that up in my bedroom, and so I'm gonna be using the Arc and the woofer for that setup. And I'm gonna be, again, switching it out for this. So if you're thinking about using a Sonos Arc or anything like that for your setup, let's talk about the pros and the cons. Now, I also have the Sonos Beam Gen 2 over there on my secondary setup, which is what you typically see in the background. And it's the full Beam setup. It's not their newer Ray version that is, more suited for PC. That is the actual Beam setup. And so going into the pros of this, right? One of the biggest pros from having a Sonos setup in this bedroom, in this office, with the Arc over here and the Beam 2 over there, is surround sound. I created a channel where it's complete surround sound, whereas the woofer down there, the Arc right there, and the Beam operates as a speaker when I do all room setup. So I can do an all room setup. So when I'm listening to music, I'm getting sound from there, I'm getting the subwoofer from below, and I'm getting the Beam audio from back there. And so as I sit in my desk and I point towards my screen, if I'm consuming content, I'm hearing amazing content. Again, from the front with the Atmos setup, and then that surround sound kind of in the back there. And that's been phenomenal to kind of experience that. Using this as my primary system for the last however many years has been awesome. One of the biggest functions that I use on a day-to-day basis is, and I'll bring this up here, is through Spotify. I have set this as, the Christopher's office, whatever I call it on the system here. So you can see it listed there. Chris's office. And so once I go in there, I select Chris's office. And so that is why that's going to be hard to replicate with monitors, just the pure sound that comes out of it. And I'm not sure what you're hearing because I'm talking through a live right now. So I'm not sure if you picked up all of that audio, but I mean, the woofer, the vocals coming out of the Arc, and don't forget that I've sound tuned my room using the Sonos app. So I've walked around and it's acoustically set up for my room to have the most optimal audio, and so this is something that you can't replicate with monitors. And then of course, again, over there and I tuned my Beam 2 as well. I mean, my Beam 2 And that is my And so that that is a lot of like sound, right? All at once. And like literally there are days where I just turn on a movie and I sit back over there on my chair, as you can see right there. And I watch it on the LG 48-inch right here at my desk. And I just sit back and I really enjoy the sound in here. And so I'm gonna recreate this setup in my bedroom upstairs, and I'm gonna do something cool. And so make sure you're subscribed to check that out. It's a little unorthodox, but I think it's gonna turn out pretty good. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you that because I'm not getting rid of my Sonos setup because of it's inefficient or I'm not enjoying it. It's actually quite the contrary, and that's why it's taken me so long to even think about getting rid of it, because the experience has been freaking fantastic. That's the main reason I'm switching. If it was not for YouTube, I wouldn't switch. This setup is perfect. It looks good. It fits my aesthetic, which is the white aesthetic, exactly how I like it. And so I would not switch it if it was not for making sure that I'm giving you all the best possible sounding video. And so yeah, I'm doing it for you all. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I know I rambled in this video, but I wanted to discuss that. I'm going to be looking through several audio interfaces. I've already set up my UAC 232 by Zoom Audio Labs, which is the very first audio interface with 32-bit float, and I did a video on that, so make sure you go check that out. I'm also going to be looking at the Mini Fuse 2 as well, and maybe even more audio interfaces, as I have multiple setups, and so I might have multiple setups depending on what I do with those particular setups. And so I'll be looking at the different ones. And so let me know your thoughts. I did a post the other day. I asked what studio monitors, if any, are you using at your desk setup, because I'm going to be on the lookout for them. Of course, you know, there's some that a lot of people are using, you know, that are kind of like the YouTube setup staple, but I'm not really into like big names like that. I like big names, right? Because they typically will produce good products, but I'm searching for the best product, right? The best return on investment. I don't want to spend $1 million for studio monitors sitting at my desk, although I will if the quality is good. I don't mind spending money for good quality, but I love to see what else is out there on the market. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're using. As always, stay cozy in that crazy world. Thank you for listening to my ramble, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Sometimes you win some, and sometimes you won't.